After 25 years, Halo finally gets a review without the nostalgia. Welcome to Final Save. The save file is not complete, so let's go ahead and talk Halo Campaign Evolved. I know you read the title, and no, it's not a lie. I never played the original Halo back in the day, but that doesn't mean I was not familiar with the series. I always admired Halo from a distance, and Master Chief is nothing short of legendary in the gaming community. But back in 2001 though, my attention was solely on Super Smash Bros. Melee, and no other game mattered to me then. Halo became one of those games I will constantly hear people talk about, but I just never got around to playing it, but I guess it's never too late. Now, with their newly rebranded Halo Studios leading the franchise into the next chapter, it just felt like the perfect time to see where everything began. And after hearing people praise the game for 25 years, I wanted to answer one simple question. What does Halo actually feel like when there's no nostalgia behind it? Well, let's find out.
You heard the lady. Move like you got a purpose.
The presentation of this game is beautiful, and I could tell right away why it left such a huge impression on so many people. Right from the start, it does a great job pulling you into the world, setting up Cortana, Master Chief, and the Covenant's attack before Master Chief steps in and shows them who's boss. The Pillar of Autumn is a fantastic first level with plenty of detail packed into every corner. Even something as simple as the firefight happening outside the window had me stopping just looking around and taking it all in. And I also like the Marines actually feeling alive. They're not just there to make the level look busy, they're shooting enemies, dealing damage, communicating with each other, and pushing alongside you. And sometimes they'll even follow you around. Back in the day, so many games were guilty of making your allies feel like moving background props, whose only job was to make the world seem less empty. Halo makes them feel like actual soldiers fighting beside you. Granted, I did not know they could follow me at first. Don't sneak up on me like that, man. I'm putting a bell on you next time. And all of this from the very first level. It didn't take me long to understand why Halo became one of the most important shooters ever made.
You sure you wouldn't rather take a seat?
We'll be fine.
After crashing into Halo and being the only survivor from your ship, at least for the looks of it, you get something I had no clue that I was getting, an actual open world to explore. I honestly thought the game was going to be like a linear shooter through and through, but now I'm standing in this massive open area with some beautiful scenery looking at Halo stretching across space for the first time, and that looked good. It was cool seeing the game suddenly transform into what it almost felt like an open world. I could just jump into a vehicle and explore, rescue the other Marines, or just stop in and take the scenery for a while. But it doesn't stay open world the whole time. It changes between linear pathways and open world sections. Some are great and some not so much, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But after doing a little exploring, it was time to get the story moving, and this game knows how to get the gameplay right. You get a 2-weapon limit, grenades, shield rechargers, and that's it. Yeah, I thought there was going to be more, but nope. Halo keeps things simple and straightforward. You don't get skill trees, no weapon upgrades, and nothing like that. At first, I thought something was missing, but after a while, I actually realized that it was the appeal. You got human weapons and Covenant weapons, and almost every gun packs a punch. And look, it didn't even take a long time to find my favorite ones like the Magnum, the Shotgun, and the amazing Energy Sword. This thing was so much fun to use, just slashing everything in sight, right until someone snuck up behind me, you backstabber. There are plenty of weapons to explore with, so I was constantly picking up whatever enemies drop or whatever I found lying around the level. The grenades, they hit hard too, and man, throwing one of those into a group of enemies was incredibly satisfying. I could not find a weapon I hated. Well, maybe except the sniper rifle. It just didn't feel as powerful as I expected, and the aiming felt a little bit clunky. Was it like that back in the day too? One thing I loved throughout the entire game was the enemy AI though. Man, this was such a huge 180 from some of the most recent games we played. The Covenant, they don't just stand there waiting to get shot. They'll dodge, retreat, rush your position, and actually try to finish you off. And it generally caught me by surprise because they kept forcing me to slow down, wait for my shields to recharge, and think how to approach every fight instead of just running in. Okay, speaking of shields, the shields always regenerated automatically, even in the original game, but your health did not. For what I understand, you had to search for medkits to patch yourself up in the original one, and I'm not sure how regenerating health is going to sit with longtime Halo fans, but for me, it worked. It kept the pacing moving and made a lot more sense here than in something like Duke Nukem Forever. Now, something I don't think anybody's gonna argue with is the ability to be able to sprint. Like seriously, how do you guys play this game without a run button? And when you're fighting alongside the Marines, it does feel like an all-out war. They're not just standing around looking busy, they'll jump into vehicles with you, help you clear enemies, and make every battle feel alive. And there are plenty of vehicles to drive too, like driving does take some getting used to and it felt a little clunky at first, but after a while it just started to click. But if you drive like a moron, believe me, someone will make sure you know it. I really like that Halo doesn't slap you in the face with 100 different mechanics. It just gives you a few simple tools, lets you experiment, and trusts you to figure things out on your own, and that right there is what made it fun for me. But man, after a little while, does this game take a dark turn.
What's going on, soldier?
We've got contact! Blast them! But they're not coming! They're just tearing through us! What the? Oh, no!
Besides the Covenant, the game introduces the Flood, which is one of the biggest threats Master Chief has to deal with. And I had no clue these things existed in the first Halo too. It honestly felt like I walked into some weird combination of Dead Space and Doom. I mean, Master Chief already looks like Doom Guy's long lost brother anyways. And these enemies are a completely different ball game. Like I said before, the Covenant is going to dodge, retreat, or rush your position depending on the situation. The Flood, they could care less. These things will trash your position non-stop until you either run away or drop. There are even sections where you see the Covenant fighting the Flood, which was honestly really cool to watch because now you got 3 different sides battling it all out. I was not expecting Halo to switch things up halfway through the campaign like this, but it's actually what made the story even more interesting for me. And as much as I have fun with this game, it shows its age at times. Some of the level designs and little details in the environment just reminds you this game came out in 2001, and a few missions really dragged the pacing down, but the biggest one for me was the library. Question, does anybody actually like this level? Because I hated this thing. It slowed the game down so much, you're basically following this little floaty robot around while getting Destiny horror mode flashbacks every 5 minutes. Like seriously, that's the whole level. You go down an elevator, walk through a hallway, get to a door, and then you're stuck fighting what it feels like an endless wave of Flood. If I wasn't carrying a shotgun or a pocket full of grenades, this level felt impossible. And that's kind of a bummer too, especially after the previous level. I think it's one of the best missions in the game. Fighting endless Flood enemies alongside the Marines during the night, it felt like I was in my own Aliens movie. So by the time I finally saw Cortana again, I was just happy that it was over. Yeah, that's what you get for reminding me of Destiny. Mentioning Cortana, I can see why players like her so much. The chemistry between her and Master Chief is simple but memorable, and characters like Captain Keyes and Sergeant Johnson are really well written too. I don't think there was a single character I disliked and kept the story interesting throughout the roughly 10 hours it took me to finish the campaign. And the library wasn't really my only frustration with this remake. Look, I get this is a remake of the original game, but there's a couple of things I wish they had been fixed before this re-release. And the biggest one for me was the checkpoint system. Don't get me wrong, the checkpoints are plentiful, especially in the game when it's easy to die with a well-placed grenade, but sometimes checkpoints can become your worst enemy. Right here, I got launched into the air, fell underneath the bridge, and the game immediately gave me a checkpoint. So now there was no way for me to get back up, and every time I die, I will respawn right back under the bridge.
Can't find him. Not here.
I'm right down here, bro. There was literally no way out besides restarting the entire mission and replaying 45 minutes all over again. Oh, but this was not the only time this happened. Halo also adds bonus missions that take place 1 year before the events of the main campaign, which was a really cool addition in my opinion. So look, I'm making my way through one of them with Sergeant Johnson, and right here looks like I'm about to trigger another fight, but nothing happens, just dead silence. It turns out, Johnson somehow got locked behind this door, the game gave me another checkpoint, and I was stuck all over again. I restarted the game, jumped into a grenade, reloaded the checkpoint, and for the second time I had to repeat another 30 minutes because there was no way to continue. Well, besides that annoyance, the bonus missions were actually really cool, and they do add a little bit more lore into the game, but man, dealing with the checkpoint system was so frustrating. One last thing I do want to mention is the multiplayer, or the lack of it. I was hoping this remake will finally give me a chance to experience the Halo multiplayer everybody keeps talking about, but nope, this game has no PvP here. Halo Studios decided to put all of their focus into the campaign instead. You can still play the campaign with up to 4 players online or 2-player split screen on consoles, which sounds like it will be a lot of fun if you actually have some friends to play with. I played on PC by myself, so I wasn't able to try the co-op side of things. But if you got someone to run through the campaign with, I could definitely see this being a great time. But I just wish they had included the classic multiplayer too. 25 years later, I get it. Now I understand why people have loved this game for so many years, and I also understand why so many fans are disappointed with parts of the remake. But if you never played the original Halo before, I will say it's not too late to start. The game is imperfect and it can show its age in a few places, but man, it was a blast to play through, and I will be back for round 2 at some point. So in my opinion, Halo Campaign Evolved absolutely deserves a save. And if Halo Studio gives us Halo 2 and the legendary Halo 3 with this same treatment, I will be there day one. I just hope Halo Studios can get things back on track after everything the studio has been going through. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. And if you made it this far, thank you for sticking around. Like and subscribe for more videos like this. Have a fantastic night, and I'll see you on the next one.